Hello, I am the Irish guy, and right, Premier League Game Week 25. Here are my predictions, and yes, I am due to do 2 forfeits that I have to do on Monday in the next Prem catch-up. Lucasade in the eye, and squatting in a bucket of coffee. Oh, how fun. But yes, I am having a horrible run of predictions lately. Surely my luck has to change, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but again, this week, if I don't get at least one correct scoreline right, then I will pour an entire box of milky frosties all over my head. Right, let's go. Brentford 1, Liverpool 3. Let's be honest, Jurgen Klopp absolutely hates travelling to Brentford. For that proud German boss setting foot inside this ground, it's probably a bit like being forced to visit your senile granddad who stinks of mouldy cheese. Liverpool have been bullied on the last 2 trips to Brentford. They lost here last season, and let's be real, that crazy 3-3 draw in September 2021 wound up costing them the Premier League title. Ivan Toney seems to enjoy smacking around these Liverpool defenders as if each centre back was just made of chocolate ice cream. For Thomas Frank inviting Liverpool to this ground, it is a bit like a cannibal inviting the neighbours around for lunch. Yeah, sorry, but Ned the dentist is probably going to be 3 glasses of wine deep before he realises that the creepy host has actually baked his own fingers into a pie. Look, considering Liverpool's poor record at this traumatising ground, then it is weird me tipping them to easily win 3-1, but this is not the same Brentford team as the past. There is a distinct lack of backbone, stale tactics and weak ideas. Frank is clearly losing his grip of the dressing room. Honestly, this hungry, title-chasing Reds pack are going to eat the bees with a spoon. That analogy sounds really painful, doesn't it? I can already feel my gums starting to bleed. Look, I know that Liverpool have an injury list from hell, and common sense should tell me that the bees might actually get something, taking advantage of Liverpool having more sick notes than a 2-star hospital in Peru. But no, look, I'll make a deal. If Brentford do get a result against Liverpool, then I will need a sandwich filled with mud. Burnley 0, Arsenal 3. Look, this has to be an Arsenal win. You don't go and smash Liverpool at home before travelling to West Ham and ending 6 without reply, only to then slip up against Burnley away. This isn't the scary fortress turf more used to be, when the likes of Arsene Wenger would turn up and look more uncomfortable than a vampire at the beach, just hiding in the toilet to avoid the sun. No, this is not the same rough housing, intimidating stadium that it was before. No, Burnley are like that haunted house that has since been given a nice homey makeover and is now placed on Gumtree with new wallpaper, central heating, expensive new furniture, and a flash brand TV. You would never know that there used to be ghosts eating puppies in the loo. Turf Moor is no longer a scary ground. So yes, I'm sorry, I know this is the battle of the former Manchester City colleagues. Vince Kompany and Mikel Arteta are probably old mates who used to share bowls of lasagna in the city canteen. Honestly, it is mental how there is so much Manchester City DNA on everything that is hot in football right now. I think I might have to do a video looking at how City's influence is everywhere. Price above, at the end of this season, the championship title is going to be won by 2 former Man City employees in a row. Honestly, next season, one Lilo is probably going to win the thing with Leeds. But yeah, I'm sorry, Burnley fans might be upset that I am predicting you to lose, but really, having seen the Gunners score 6 in the last away trip, I'm guessing the company spent this week waking up every night at 3 AM to just puke in a bucket. I'll go 3-0, Martinelli, Saka and Odegaard with the goals. And lads, if Arsenal don't win, then I will pour a bucket of yellow paint over my head. Fulham 2, Aston Villa 2. Fulham and Aston Villa have not played out a draw in nearly 11 years, so this 2-2 prediction might look absolutely insane, but let's be real. Aston Villa are in a bit of a rut. 10 minutes ago, they were outside title challengers, but now they've been beaten 4 times since Christmas. 3 times at home. Somewhere where they had not lost for nearly a year, and they won't win here. No way. These players have lost confidence. They're collapsing. There's nothing sadder than watching the wheels come off for a bunch of plucky, hungry underdogs who are now suddenly losing their grip in Champions League football, just now trying to snatch at results with all the confidence of terrified pigs. They are losing ground on Spurs. The pressure has got to them. Even now, they are probably scared of Manchester United catching them up in 5th. So yeah, this will be a nervy match. Goals from Richie Muniz, John McGinn, Ollie Watkins, and then in the final minute, an absolute Willian screamer. Sorry, Emery. Newcastle won Bournemouth 0. Can this week get any worse for Newcastle? Not only is there all this fuss about them possibly losing their highly rated sporting director to Manchester United, but, I mean, with Alexander Isak already injured, now Callum Wilson is pretty much out for the rest of the season. Ruled out for 12 weeks with a chest injury? Sorry, what? A chest injury? What was he doing, trying to bench press a cow? He now has about a more chance of going to Euro 2024 with England, as I do, being cast in the next Avengers film. Honestly, if Wilson does go to the Euros, then I will dress up like a dinosaur and swim across the River Tyne. But lads, this is grim. Newcastle are going to have to start the match with Anthony Gordon, once again chalked up front as some garish false 9. So really, I should be tipping a Bournemouth win. You all know that I think that Andoni Iraola is an astonishingly good coach. So why not? Why not tip the Cherries to get a win here? But no. when Bournemouth travel to St James's Park, it is always a tight match. Last season, it was a nervy 1-0 win for Newcastle in the League Cup, and it was a 1-1 draw in the Premier League. In 2019, Newcastle nicked a 2-1 win. Wilson actually scored in that match. So too did DeAndre Yedlin and Kieran Clark. Christ, that Newcastle team really was uglier than that weird baboon of Lion King. The year before, it was another 2-1 Newcastle win. Solomon Rondon with a double. I mean, the Magpies had Paul Dummett at left back, and a midfield partnership of Mo Diame and Ki Sung-young. Oh, wow. Rafa Benitez really was just given a big bag of horse sludge to work with. But the year before was a last-minute 1-0 Bournemouth win, where Newcastle went on a run of 8 defeats in 9 league games in a row. Benitez was lucky not to be sacked on the spot. I mean, the following season, he had to wait the first 10 league games of the season to get their first win, and yet Newcastle fans still sung his name. So don't ever call their supporters deluded or impatient when you see them criticizing Eddie Howe. Most fan bases would have called Rafa washed, burnt out, and who then had all the modern tactics of a melted pizza. But not Newcastle fans. But my point is that these matches with Bournemouth at St James's Park are always tight, and so yeah, it'll be a close, frustrating match, low on quality, but yeah, Lewis Miley with the winner 1-0. And lads, if it is the opposite of a close match, and if either team wins by 4 goals or more, then I will eat cat food in a tree. Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham 2. Look, I like Nuno Santo as a coach, and I think he'll do a semi-decent job at Nottingham Forest, but still, they are coming up against a wounded West Ham side, who have just been embarrassed, losing 6-0 at home to Arsenal. There has to be a reaction from these players. This West Ham side is literal quality. Multi-million-pound international stars. They are not as bad as they were last week, and so for Forest, facing an angry, riled up West Ham, eager to prove a point. Oh, it's going to be daunting beyond belief. I'm going to go with a pretty comfy West Ham win. Jared Bowen with both goals. Next, Tottenham 2, Wolves 1. Last week, I actually turned a mini corner and actually backed Wolves to do well. I actually started to give Gary O'Neill a chunk of credit, and I backed him to mastermind a 3-0 win over Brentford. Instead, your team was flatter than a squashed pancake stuck to the wheel of a bus. So am I going to continue to back Wolves this week? No, I've learned my lesson. Absolutely not. This is Ange Postecoglou versus Gary O'Neill. Two men who I suppose were molded and sculpted in the families of Manchester City and Liverpool. Not really. I mean, Postecoglou was a title-winning mastermind for one of City's feeder clubs in Japan. O'Neill, I don't know, he was employed by Liverpool to, coach the children and pour Klopp his morning cocoa pops. I know that O'Neill won the previous fixture in November with 2 extremely lucky last-minute goals, but I'm gonna go with the 2-1 Tottenham win. Richarlison and the team of Werner with early strikes, and someone like Ryan Nouri with a late consolation goal to make this look way closer than it was, but no, let's prove it. If Wolves win this match, then I will drag my couch into a field and just spend 3 hours sitting on it. That sounds really boring. Man City 3, Chelsea 0. Look, Chelsea have turned a bit of a corner under Mauricio Pochettino, right? Ever since he started whining in public about not receiving the love from Chelsea fans, he has actually started to see some wins. But again, Poch, if there's one set of supporters you do not want to criticize for giving you a frosty reception, it's Chelsea fans. Rafa Benitez very quickly realized they were just a sensitive bunch. And so yeah, if they don't like you, they don't like you. As someone who is 1 game away from turning Tottenham into champions of Europe, he should be lucky that Chelsea fans aren't turning up outside his house, chucking banana milkshakes at his door. Look, I know the return fixtures are going to be the game of the season, a 4-4 madness, but this will be nothing of the sort. Ever since their Champions League final win in 2021, Chelsea's record against City has been horrible. Before that freak monster 4-4 draw, City had beaten Chelsea 6 times in a row without even conceding a single goal. There's a huge gulf in class between both teams that is obvious. So yeah, just a very easy 3-0 win. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, and Julian Alvarez. An absolute pep master class, and to prove it, for every goal that Chelsea score, then I will smear an entire jar of marmalade in my hair. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 3. Look, I know that Sheffield United got a morale-boosting win at Luton Town, but I'm sorry, this is just going to be them going back to their losing ways. Brighton are going to absolutely dominate possession with 70% of the ball. The Blaze will barely get a kick, and yeah, goals from João Pedro, Danny Welbeck, and Ansu Fati. Lads, this fixture already took place 2 weeks ago in the FA Cup, where Brighton scored 5, and yes, had 69% of the ball. We know what happens here. Honestly, if Brighton don't win, then I will crack a huge Easter egg on my head. Luton Town 1, Man United 5. Look, Luton are a team who recently beat Brighton 4-0 at home, so me to being able to concede 5 at home to Manchester United, it is nonsense, right? It's stupid. Now, it's not. Did everyone forget that Luton just lost 3-1 at home to the worst team in the league? Do you not think their confidence is going to be rocked after that? While Manchester United are in quietly really good form. All the sack talk surrounding Ten Hag has settled down. They've just won 3 league games in a row, beating Wolves, West Ham, and Aston Villa. Yes, it is baby steps and is what Manchester United should be doing, but still, they're in a good moment right now, and they're scoring goals. They scored 17 goals in their 6 games in 2024. So yeah, I think they're going to absolutely explode. A Marcus Rashford hat-trick and goals from Kobbie Mainoo and Rasmus Højlund. Or something like Carlton Morris bundling in a late consolation. I'm sorry, Rob Edwards, but he's going to be absolutely mercilessly cooked like a sausage on James Corden's barbecue. Sorry, but Man United winning this match and with ease. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. What we know about this match is that it's going to be a very boring game. Everton versus Crystal Palace. We've already had this fixture twice in 2024 already. 2 games in the FA Cup, 1 goal scored. That was it. Boring, but this is the week where I finally escape my milky shower. When Luton get absolutely punched up at Man United and the Toffees win against Palace, then I will be finally free. Surely you can manage a win versus Palace. A moldy, disinterested dressing room who all know that their old boy of a coach is getting replaced by Oliver Glasner next week. This is all the atmosphere of a last day at school. Hodgson is in hospital right now and I obviously wish him well, but it's awkward. Yes, he is sick. But the timing is terrible because earlier in the morning, just hours before, news had broken that he was going to be sacked. The man turned 77 soon. Stop prolonging the stress levels for the guy. It is not fair to expect a man who's nearly 80 to perform at the highest levels in elite sport and have to have him put up with his own fans screaming for him to get sacked on Talk Sport. Just no, let him retire in peace. Yes, Everton are winning this one. Of course they're winning this one. And no more milk. I cannot wait. Man City 4, Brentford 0. Easy 4-0 win. Brentford will barely touch the ball. Next, Liverpool 3, Luton Town 0. Lads, this is the month where the wheels fall off for Luton Town. At the end of the season, we will pinpoint February as the month where it all melted away and they were eventually relegated. I don't think I'm going to have to do a milky shower again for the rest of the season. I really don't. Because I do think that Luton are going to be absolutely destroyed by Man United and Liverpool in quick succession. Absolutely. If they get any sort of result at Anfield, then I mean... I'll do 10 buckets of milk over my head. 10! Now, scratch that. I'm so confident. 20 buckets of milk over my head if Luton gets some sort of result at Anfield. But it's obviously not going to happen. I can't wait not to have milk on my head. Oh, this week is going to be fun. Anyway, that's the video. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, subscribe as always. I'll talk shit in a while.